As Owen mentioned, my name is Ryan Oosterveld. I'm the head of new business sales for our EMEA team. Today, I really want the opportunity, and I'm excited to share with you guys 2 tips to help scale your sales team out and make sure that they're successful right out of the gate. Quick safe harbor statement from our side. Oops, let me get that back up. Sorry about that. So safe harbor statement, I may make some forward-looking statements. Please don't use that to go invest in the ZoomInfo stock. So just wanted to get that out of the way right away. So for myself, I'm actually based here in Michigan in the States. When I'm not working, I'm a husband, I'm a golfer, I'm a movie buff, and I like my 4 a.m. coffees when I'm jumping on sales calls. But for me, I've had the opportunity over the last 4 years to hire, to develop, to lead a team of over 30 reps across various teams. And the reason why this is so near and dear to my heart is that back in January, our leadership team had asked me, "Hey, Ryan, can you take over our international team? Can you help us scale and grow this?" And at the time, we had about 10 reps in the US that were waking up really early, taking these leads across Europe. And today, we have over 23 reps that span all across the US, but mostly based in London. Why this is so near and dear to my heart is that for me, one of the big competitive advantages that my team has always had that I have felt has been really developing and ramping reps right out of the gate. I think that that is one of the most critical things that you can do to help build a sales team and help make sure they're successful. And at ZoomInfo, we actually have a 3-month ramp time for our account executives. So 3 months of ramping, building pipeline, trying to hit their quotas. But most of our reps are actually hitting the phones in their first 2 weeks with us. So rather quickly, they're starting to take leads, starting to work with customers. So when I think about scaling out a sales team, I think about it from a macro level and a micro level. From a macro level, one of the major things that I always have tried to do is standardize and build a repeatable process around the onboarding experience. And some things that we have done here at ZoomInfo that's really helped our teams hit the ground running. One of the things that we really love is conversation intelligence. So we work with Chorus. Chorus is a product of ZoomInfo. We actually build out playbooks that all of our new hires look at on day one. These are the best calls to review. These might be discovery calls from our reps where they're able to listen in and see how that discovery call went. Playbooks around how objection handling goes, where there's competitors mentioned on the conversation and how those reps are handling those and what type of talk tracks that they might be using and how it lands with the prospect. Maybe seeing a live negotiation or how a rep might close a deal. And again, seeing what those talk tracks, what those concerns might pop up on those calls. So really giving the reps a playbook of calls that they can listen to in any of their spare time. Because again, during that onboarding experience, a lot of these reps are really hungry, they're moldable, they want to get better, they don't know what great looks like yet. This is the time to invest with them as a leader. Outside of that, the other thing that ZoomInfo does is we require role plays before we actually get our reps live on the calls. One of the things that we do is we do 3 different role plays with each one of our reps for an hour apiece. These are various scenarios. They might be with a sales leader, a marketing leader, then a managing director. These are going to be increased levels of difficulty as they progress forward. And this really gives your reps the ability to have a safe environment to practice these talk tracks, to practice the new skill sets that you're helping them with, and to be in a safe environment to use them and make mistakes. We record all these conversations again with Chorus so they can go back and look at their talk time versus their prospect talk time, see how many questions they may have asked versus how it landed with the prospect. And then we provide instant feedback and coaching right after, and we document all of this so that they can have that on their back end. And then I think it's no surprise to most of you, but in today's world, we live very much in a hybrid work environment. It's not as easy as it used to be as a sales rep to go on the sales floor and hear tidbits and nuggets from your peers and be able to kind of piece that together and make it your own. So at ZoomInfo, one of the things that we do is we assign all of our new hires with a paired buddy. That buddy is going to be someone that does their job function today at a high level. They understand the role, how to be successful in it, and they want to help others. So that gives that new hire the ability to ask questions, ask their peer about, hey, I saw this, how would you do this? And really allow them to kind of bounce back feedback, questions, and concerns off someone that knows exactly what it takes to be successful in that role. From a leadership perspective, I actually require all of my leadership team to have daily stand-ups with their new hires. This can be time used for training, for coaching. A lot of times it's just an opportunity for the new hire to ask questions about things that have popped up during onboarding, talk tracks they heard from listening to a call, understanding why it was delivered that way and what was the outcome of that. But again, just giving that rep the ability to develop much faster by meeting with their leadership team, by meeting with some of their peers, so that they can continue to develop as quickly as they can. Now, from a micro level, one of the things that I always try to work with is really building a winning discovery call formula and using it, having a framework for this. A lot of first calls, you can't script the entire thing, but you can build a really solid framework. And the reason I think that this is so important is it establishes a baseline for your reps on what great looks like. If you do not establish this, your rep doesn't know what great looks like, and therefore you're going to get a lot of different outcomes on the back end. So the big benefit for this is it helps with predictability. And what I mean by that is if a rep is doing different things on every single call, different discovery, different delivery of pricing, the outcome of those calls can be very different on call to call. So by having a framework for your reps to try to work within, it helps them understand what potential variables might pop up. Hey, this is maybe how the demo is consistently more likely than not going to flow. Hey, by taking this call this way, these are the objections we commonly see. Here's the talk tracks that you need to be able to handle these objections as they rise. I think one of the hardest parts as a new rep is really nailing those next steps and knowing where you want that sales call to go next to really drive that sales cycle on the right path. Again, by having that framework, it makes it easier for that new hire to understand, hey, this is the most likely outcome that we're gunning for next steps. If I take this framework, I'm likely to land here. For the reason why and the baseline on it, the reason why is because it creates a baseline. And what I mean by that, again, is it helps your reps understand what great looks like. It helps me as a leader understand where there's gaps in their development. Hey, if I see that they only spent 3 minutes in discovery, hey, look what happened with the objections at the end. We need to alter this. It helps me adjust my team very quickly. If I notice that, hey, we're rolling out a new product, hey, here's where we need to enter it into our conversation and discovery. And that way I can pivot my entire team on the back end. And how I'd recommend to do that is meet with your senior leadership, meet with your senior reps, help get their ideas, their framework, understand what they've been doing. Build a living document that your reps can go into and work within, and be okay to pivot. Times are changing, your company's changing, the market changes very quickly. This has to be something that's a living, breathing document so that, again, your team can adapt. So, in summary, guys, if I were to say two things that really have helped ZoomInfo scale in this international market, build an onboarding experience that leads by example. Have call reviews, role plays, coaching and mentorship with your team. Standardize that discovery call framework. It means less variables, less unknowns for your reps. It's going to accelerate their growth. And I think that's really going to help everyone scale their sales teams faster and help them hit their numbers. So appreciate the time, everyone. Thank you so much. Looking forward to connecting with you all on the back end.